It starts with Melinda, the main character, and Vic, her husband. They also have a 6-year-old daughter named Trixie. Melinda is a sex addict and she wants to live her life in her own way. That's why she has an affair with many men and she doesn't care who is thinking what about her. So she does all this in front of her husband, Vic. Vic does not like all totally, but he pretends that he doesn't care. Plus, he knows that he cannot do anything with all this. One day, Melinda and Vic go to a party, so Vic invites Trixie's babysitter to stay with her. After which Melinda and Vic arrive at their friend's house to party, where Melinda's friend Joe is also there. Both of them are also having an affair, and Vic knows this, because we see it when Joe and Melinda are making out by the pool and Vic is watching from the window. Mary tells Vic that Melinda had asked her to invite Joe to the party, and she adds that she thinks Melinda and Joe are not just friends, they are more than that, but Vic avoids all these things. Melinda sings a song for Joe later. Vic comes to meet Joe, and he tells Joe that some time ago Melinda used to have a friend by the name Martin, and he used to room with Melinda all day long. They were good friends, but he didn't like that guy, so he killed him, and Melinda does not know anything about it. Vic threatens Joe and says that if he ever see him near Melinda, he will kill him. Joe is so scared by his words that he leaves the party. And Melinda had seen both of them talking. She feels that Vic has said something to him which made him run away, because after talking to Vic, Joe was talking very strangely. Melinda asks Vic about this, but Vic says that he did not say anything to Joe, but Melinda does not believe him. Next day, Vic meets some of his friends, and they think that Melinda is having an affair with Joe, and that's why he threatens Joe. When Melinda comes to know about what happened on the other night at the party, she starts screaming at Vic. Vic says he was just joking. Melinda says she has invited Joe for dinner at home, and she asks Vic to apologize to Joe. After this, Joe comes to Melinda's house, and Melinda gets into a tussle with Vic over a drink. Melinda wants Vic to behave like a normal person, and he says that if he was normal, then Joe would not have been in his dinner table. That's true. After which Melinda sends Vic to take Trixie for a sleep, and when he comes out, notices Melinda and Joe having fun. He goes and drops a plate in the kitchen. Just then, Melinda comes there and asks Vic to get a drink for Joe. Vic then brings a drink for Joe. Joe tells Vic that he should apologize for the lie he told about Martin, but Vic says he didn't lie. He really killed Martin very badly. The next day, Vic and Melinda attend a party where they meet Don and Kelly. Don have heard somewhere that Vic killed Martin, and he also believes in this, but all of them start laughing at Don and says that it was just a joke. Vic then asks Kelly for a dance, and everyone is quite surprised to see Vic dancing, as they had never seen Vic doing it. Melinda is getting very jealous seeing him. On the way back, she tells Vic that Kelly is very attractive, and she wonders if Vic is trying to sleep with her, but Vic says he's not willing to. The next day, there is a football match at Trixie's school. Then Vic learns that Melinda has transferred $3,000 from her bank account to a guy named Charlie. After tracking some information, Vic reaches Charlie's music concert, where Melinda is also present. At night, Vic learns from the news that police have found Martin's body. Melinda comes home late at night, and she tells that she went to dinner with her new friend, but she doesn't remember what they did after that, but whatever they did was awesome. Vic tells Melinda that the police have found Martin's body, which leaves Melinda upset, because Martin was her best friend, and Melinda thinks that Vic might have killed him. The next day, Vic arrives at Charlie's show with his friend Grant. Vic says to his friend that Charlie gives Melinda music lessons, and he also meets Charlie. Charlie doesn't know who Vic is though. On night, Melinda does not come home, and Vic spends the whole time wondering what Charlie and Melinda must be doing. There is only one thing going on in his mind. The next morning, Melinda comes home, and they get into an argument. Vic basically wants to know where she was and what she did, but Melinda does not tell him anything. Melinda knew what Vic wanted to know from her. That's why she says if he wants to know what has happened between them, then he should check by himself. Vic wants Melinda to stop meeting Charlie, but she doesn't listen to him. Melinda invites Charlie to her friend's pool party, and then she introduces Charlie to Vic and other friends. Charlie thinks that he has seen Vic somewhere, but he does not remember. At night, Vic is looking for Melinda. Mary tells that she has seen Melinda at the top of the stairs. Vic goes upstairs to check when Charlie and Melinda are sneaking out of a room. Then after which they have a pool party, and Vic is watching his wife having fun with Charlie. Melinda gets closer to Charlie to make Vic jealous. It starts raining and everyone comes in. Melinda sees that Charlie is not inside, and when she comes out looking for him, she sees that Charlie's body is floating in the pool, and she screams. After this, everyone gets him out, but not properly. Then Vic gives him CPR, but by then he's already dead. After this, the police interrogates everyone. They think that Charlie's death is due to drowning because of intoxication, but Melinda accuses Vic that he has killed Charlie. And after which the officer interrogates Vic, the officer asks him whether he thinks his wife and Charlie were having an affair, because his wife is accusing him. Vic says he didn't do anything, and he doesn't understand why his wife feels that he has killed Charlie. And she is right. Actually, Vic is the one who killed Charlie. So Melinda hires a detective named David to find out of the truth. And he spies on Vic. But Vic gets to know that there is someone who is following him. While Kelly comes to visit Vic at his school, she tells Vic that her husband Don thinks he killed Charlie and he wants to meet Melinda so that he can talk to her about his theory regarding the incident. Vic invites Kelly and Don to dinner. At night, Vic says Don to stop telling people that he killed Charlie, because by this, he is spoiling both his and Kelly's reputation. The next day, when Vic is leaving, he sees the car that was following him is parked in front of a restaurant. There are also some cameras in it. When Vic goes inside, Melinda is sitting with David, and Melinda reveals that David is a psychotherapist, but Vic doesn't believe her, and he asks David for his card, but he does not have the card, and Vic understands that he is not a therapist, but a detective. Later it's revealed from Melinda's bank account that someone were hired by Don at the behest of her to spy on him. Then Vic warns Don to stop what he's doing. One day, Vic sees a guy going with Melinda whose name is Tony. At night, Vic overhears Melinda talking to Tony, the two of them talking about moving to Brazil. The next day, Tony comes to Vic's house for lunch. Melinda tells Vic that Tony was the first American with whom she gets intimated. Tony feels a little uncomfortable, but Melinda says he doesn't need to think much because her husband doesn't care. Tony stays until late night, and he goes upstairs with Melinda. The next day, Vic meets Tony again. He says Melinda has got a building site and she is calling him there to show him. And he also tells that when they were dating, they often went there for hiking. Tony feels a bit awkward and tries to call Melinda, but there is no network. After which Vic reaches the jungle, Vic kills Tony, then drowns his body in the lake and keeps her wallet with him. When he reaches home, Trixie tells him that they are going for a picnic. Accidentally, the place is same where Vic killed Tony. After they reach, they talk and Melinda is wondering why Vic is the only man who chose to stay with her. Vic is also wondering why, then gives her a gift in which there are many photos of Melinda which Vic has taken, and Melinda would not have known about it. Trixie is near the lake. When Nick tells her to stay away from the lake, he notices Tony's body is not completely submerged. His clothes and hands are visible outside. On the way back, when Melinda remembers that she has forgotten her scarf, Vic says he will come in the next day morning for it. After which the next day, Vic comes to that place to hide Tony's body. On the other hand, Melinda comes to the lab looking for Vic and finds Tony's wallet in a box, and she understands that Vic has killed Tony. After this, Melinda goes and packs hers and Trixie's belongings, but Trixie doesn't want to go, as she wants to stay with her father, also with her mother. So she takes the bag and throws it in the pool and says they are not going anywhere. On the other hand, Vic tries to dispose of Tony's body, but then Don comes there and he sees Tony's body. Don runs away and Vic follows him. Don is overjoyed by his discovery, as he was always claiming that he's right about Vic being a murderer, and tries to message Kelly, his wife, to give her the news, but her phone falls. Just then, Vic suddenly comes in front of his car. To save Vic, Don swerves the car and falls off the cliff into the water and dies. Vic comes home and Melinda is waiting for him. She knows everything but doesn't tell anything other than a smile. Then Melinda burns Tony's IDs.